What's up, everybody? Welcome to Innovation and Travel. We have an exclusive interview with Ania Halama. She is a world traveler who has helped thousands of people attract money, wealth, perfect health, perfect love, mental health, and spiritual wealth. Ania started out working as a corporate job that left her living paycheck to paycheck. Exhausted and worn out, she was limited to her dreams of a better life. Anya longed for the freedom to live a life on her terms and time to enjoy life to the fullest. One day, she decided to take a leap of faith, quit her job, and began a journey of self-discovery. The journey has taken Anya all over the world and helped her create businesses, learning new skills, and sharing them along the way. I will be posting her Instagram and her website at the end of this interview. You can reach out to Ania. I had met Ania here in Antioquia, Colombia, in a city called Girardota when I was doing my ayahuasca ceremony. Ania, thanks for coming. Glad to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jerry. I'm excited to be here.
Okay. Most recent book was Rebel's Guide to Spirituality. What does it, and that's what her book is about. She's working on a new book called How Ayahuasca Changed My Life. Anya, would you care to share with us what your new book's about, what's brought you to this, and where are you going now?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, my first book, Rebel's Guide to Spirituality, that's pretty much my story of my healing, how I got into plant medicines, everything that I've been through to get to pretty much where I am currently. This was a couple years ago, so I've grown a lot since then. My second book actually is Women Gone Wild, the Wealth Edition, but that was a co-authored book series. Both of them are on my website. You guys can go there, check them both out. But my new book, it's all about ayahuasca, bringing the spirituality as well as the science together. I've noticed there's a lot of books out there currently that are all the woo, like all the journeys about ayahuasca. This is what I went through. This is what I saw. This is how I healed. Like, this is what you can get out of it. I've noticed that there was a gap in the market. There isn't many books that really go into the science. What happens to your body? What happens to your blood composition? What happens to your brain? Why are people healing diseases? Why are people getting rid of addictions? Like, I know someone that did heroin most of their life and then did ayahuasca, all of a sudden stopped doing heroin. Why are people truly curing all of this stuff that they don't have the need to do any of that anymore? I have another friend who healed Lyme's disease with ayahuasca. What is truly happening? So merging the science and the spirituality, as well as sharing personal stories, not only my own, but I'm interviewing a bunch of people that are sharing their own personal stories of transformation with ayahuasca. And ayahuasca is so dear to my heart. I've been working with the medicine for 6 years now, wrote about it in my first book. Jerry and I met at an ayahuasca ceremony. And it's very, very close to my heart. Like, it is the biggest catalyst for my growth, for who I am today. And I'm actually getting ready in a couple of days to head to the jungles of Peru to get initiated into an ayahuasca tribe, because that is my path. Like, I am here to help humanity with this medicine and bring it to the Western culture. There's a lot of people who are.
I'm sorry, yes. Sorry to interrupt. Real quick before we start going down that, can you just explain to people and just briefly what is ayahuasca? Because not everybody knows what this beautiful medicine is.
Yeah, of course. So ayahuasca is a sacred brew from the Amazon. So Brazil, Peru, Colombia, in South America, grows in the Amazon. And it's made into a tea of sorts. Like, when I say tea, it's not actually a tea. It's like this very syrupy, dense, like liquid shot that you take.
You wouldn't drink it recreationally.
You would not drink it recreationally. Please do not do this at home. Also, do your due diligence with ayahuasca. There's a lot of good shamans and there's a lot of bad shamans out there. Like, there's an A doctor and there's a D doctor, there's an A shaman and there's a D shaman. And so it takes you into, like, I want to say it's kind of like a bird's eye view. Like, your consciousness pretty much leaves. You're still conscious in your body, but it leaves, and anything that you need to deal with, you can with this medicine. It is a psychedelic, so you will go in different dimensions. but you can see things from a completely different perspective, and you can use it for absolutely anything depending on what it is that you want to work through. For example, you can use it for clarity, you can use it for PTSD, you can use it to, you know what, I just want to take my business to the next level. How can I get, like, be better as an entrepreneur, as a worker, as a whatever? Like, I just want to go to that next level. How do I get there? And I've been trying and doing everything, and nothing's working. So ayahuasca can help with that as well. It can help you with your purpose. It can help you with family trauma, anything and everything. But with ayahuasca needs to call you. I've been working with this medicine for a long time, and the first time that I did it, I'm like, oh my God, every single person on this planet needs to try this medicine. Like, it is the most incredible thing out there. Why doesn't the world know about this? And the more that I've worked with it, I know it is not for everyone. They really say ayahuasca calls you when it is your turn to meet and interact with her. And that is very, very true. So please, if you are called to it, do your due diligence. There's tons of beautiful retreat centers and ceremonies that you can go to, but go to a reputable place. Go to a place that you trust. Reach out to myself, reach out to Jerry, reach out to people that you trust, people that you look up to on the internet that talk about ayahuasca. Because you can go to a bad shaman. You can go to someone that wants to take your light away, that can put bad energy back into you when you take this medicine, because you are shifting dimensions and you are going into this parallel universe of sorts. Like, a lot of entanglements can happen and a lot of wrong can be done. So please do your due diligence if you are called to it.
Awesome, great pointers. I actually met a guy about a year ago that he took the ayahuasca with just some guy, some random person. He ended up getting a curse, and it was like 2 years for him to like recover from. He had like the shaman was an evil, and they put a curse on him. And a lot of there's some evil people out there, because you're dealing with powerful spiritual entities here. Get out of that. So let me ask you this. Well, I'll let you finish your point, but I do have some questions when you're finished, as far as talking about your journey. How many times have you done ayahuasca?
I've drank about 60, 70 times. I kind of stopped counting after 50. I'm like, that's plenty. I don't need a count after this point. But I am going to the jungle. I'm going to be there for 2 months, and I'll be drinking about 30 times in those 2 months. So 100 is closely approaching.
Wow. So one thing that I also want to mention with ayahuasca, and here in Colombia we call it Yage, and is the purging. So I'll let you talk about, did you purge every time, and what can you explain that to the audience?
Yeah, I've never had a ceremony where I haven't purged.
Where you
And
have not.
that I have not purged.
Okay.
Never had a ceremony
And
where
what
I
is
have.
that?
So purging can come up in different ways for different people. With ayahuasca, the most common purging is vomiting or pooping. It
Yeah.
happens. It happens. You will go to the bathroom. It can come in shaking. It can come in burping. It can come in just like releasing energetically. You are purging. A purge is good. Do not be afraid of the purge. I know there's a lot of misconceptions about ayahuasca out there currently, and this is also why my work, I'm so like proud of the work that I'm doing, is because I want to break some of those stigmas about ayahuasca. People read like, oh, I'm going to vomit, I'm going to throw up, I'm going to be in a room with 20 people, everyone's going to hear me throwing up. Oh, I don't want to do that. Like, that scares me. Actually, like, the purge is really, really good. Like, you feel energy moving through your body and you're releasing. It's what you need to let go of. You like when you're in that bucket, like vomiting, you feel the demons coming out of you. You're like, this is not for me anymore. This doesn't belong in my body. This is everything that I need to let go of. It feels so good when you finally have that purge. A lot of people are resistant of it, but it's a really lovely release.
Now let me ask, so do you feel good while it's happening, or when it's over?
Um, Both sometimes.
Really?
It depends. Yeah, it
Huh.
depends when. Like, because I know that I'm releasing everything. Like, yeah, it's hard, like when I'm purging, but like I know that good is coming out of it, that I'm releasing everything that isn't for me anymore. I'm healing, I'm letting go, I'm releasing. Like I know that that is good. The results of it are going to be good. And I'm like, okay, my interpretation of it is this is good for me.
You know, she has way more experience with this medicine than I do. Like, it's almost like she's here and I'm like down here. When I did it, I was just like, no, I don't want to throw up no more. But when I was finished at the end, I felt cleansed. It's almost like a horrific workout, but it's on a spiritual level. And a lot of people have described it as being on getting interviewed by a psychologist on a spiritual level. Would you be able to relate to that and agree with that statement?
Yeah, for sure. So ayahuasca, when you first start drinking ayahuasca, and I have a lot of people that have asked me, they're like, you've drank it 60, 70 times. Like, why do you keep going back? And it was funny, my first ceremony that I did, I met a girl and she drank 60 times already. And I'm like, wow, 60 times. Like, what do you keep learning? Like, well, what is she teaching you now? Like, I had all the questions and now I'm that person. But it really is. So when you first drink ayahuasca, she'll deal with all the big problems, all the pains, all the traumas, all the body ailments that you have, like all the big stuff. The more that you drink it, obviously, like you don't have any of that big stuff. You've cleaned, you've worked through that already. Working with it more, you're getting to like the little shifts in life. How can I be better? How can I like just be slightly better? It's just those little shifts to adjust you so you can fully become what you're meant to become. And I like interpreting that into regular life as well. Like, how can I in real life just have little shifts? How can I wake up 20 minutes earlier? How can I hold my breath 10 seconds longer in a breath hold? How can I stay in an ice bath 5 seconds longer? Just those little shifts that you're like, you know what? I feel accomplished. I feel so much better. But when she does deal with those big stuff, like they say it's like 20 years of therapy in one session of ayahuasca. And I
I agree with
truly,
that.
truly believe that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. So why Peru?
So Colombia doesn't have the school that I'm looking for. And this school came recommended from someone that I know and I trust. The person that recommended this to me, he loved it so much he stayed there for 5 months. I'm only going
Wow.
for 2 months.
Wow.
But ayahuasca is not his path. He's like, I wanted to drink ayahuasca, like I found the school, I had some extra money, and he's like, I just thought this would be like a cool thing to do. And I was with him last week, and he was like seeing me in ceremony. I was giving a couple ceremonies to people and like coaching them, mentoring them a little bit. And he's like, yo, this is your path. Like ayahuasca is your path, medicine is your path, like you're a healer, like you're gonna freaking thrive at this school. And yeah, I learn all the things. I learn how to make the ayahuasca. I learn all the different purges, all the icaros, all the prayers, all like how to disperse negative energy, how to take away negative energy, all the things. So my first month is going to be very learning based. I am still drinking every other day pretty much. And the second month, I am actually going to be facilitating ceremonies to the other students, as well as doing just solo ceremonies by myself.
So when you're finished, you'll be able to perform ceremonies yourself?
I'll be able to facilitate, yes.
Okay, facilitate. So you would be bringing in the shaman and
Technically, I can do like very small groups and individuals for me to facilitate, because I'll know how to open ceremony, I'll know how to go through it, I'll know how to close the ceremony. But I do want to work with a shaman.
you see, ladies and gentlemen, I really want you to catch this, okay? Because what she said something is very, very relevant. When you're dealing with the supernatural. This is very, very powerful entities that you're dealing with. And let me just make this clear. Yage is Yahovah, okay? If you look at the Yage, it's from God. This is not an evil medicine. However, it can be used for evil with certain people Anya, I'll let you elaborate on that because this is a very interesting point.
Yeah, so like I was saying, there's A shamans and then there's D shamans, A doctors, D doctors. Like some shamans, if they practice evil, some shamans work with dark entities. And if they see people who have a lot of light, they'll want to take that light from you and put curses
Wow.
on you, put some negativity on you, put some dark stuff on you. Also, yes, like Jerry was saying, we are working with the supernatural. So even though the medicine is light, negative entities can come through. And that's what the shaman does. The shaman cleans the energy, a good shaman cleans the energy and makes sure that none of those dark entities come through onto your trip. But even though you're still like have the shaman, it is still your responsibility to protect your own energy. So whenever I go into an ayahuasca ceremony, I will say a prayer. I'll say a prayer to God. I'll have Archangel Michael put a blue layer of protection around me. So I am protecting my own energy and no dark entities come into my own bubble.
You know, I wanna stress the importance. There is a call of there's number one, this is a calling, okay? She's not doing this because she's like really wants to do it, right? I mean, this is a very sacrificial type journey that you're going on. But she's doing this because she's called and she's chosen. See, many are called, but few are chosen. And Anya is answering the call. So that's the thing. And I'll give an example so people can understand. So let's say she's facilitating a ceremony and she has a drug problem and she's facilitating this ceremony. This is going to be transmitted to all those people that are taking in on part of her thing. So if she's got an addiction or she's dealing with darkness and it's not brought to the light and she's trying to hold on to this darkness, it's going to affect everything. So that's something that you guys really need to be aware of, that it's so critical. How does one find a good shaman? Let's say they're in Brazil, or because I go to Brazil and I know that they have it over there because I saw it, but I don't know. How do you know? How do you know who's good, who's bad?
So ayahuasca will find you. Ayahuasca will find you. If you're in Brazil, you're talking to people and ayahuasca keeps coming up and you're interested, ask them where they went. If they went and they had a good experience, use referrals. Do not Google ayahuasca shamans in Brazil. Yes, a ton of them will come up, but the best ones don't advertise themselves. If they're real shamans in indigenous communities, they don't have internet. So they're not going to be advertising themselves. So go ahead and start asking people if they had a beautiful experience, if it came from a good, reliable source that you trust, then go there.
Yeah, and you know, I will say this, that the best ones don't run this thing like a business. They're not interested in making money. They really don't care.
You're interested in healing, helping humanity.
Yeah, I mean, you could give them you could literally go up to them with $1 million and be like, look, I want you to come to Dubai and do a ceremony. They don't care. They literally don't care. There's very few people like that. People say that, but when you see these people, they're almost like unicorns. They're not normal. I mean, which shaman or which we call him, again in Colombia we call them taitas. Which shaman or taita impressed you the most, and have you bonded with them? Have you looking forward to this? Have you reached out to the shaman, the person you're going to be meeting in Peru? How does that relationship work? Do they guide you when you're done? What happens after the ayahuasca? All those things people want to know.
Yeah, so I live in Colombia. I've been here for almost 6 years, and I drink at many different centers here. There's a particular center, the center that Jerry and I met at, that is home to me. Like that's the first center that I drank
Let's
at.
say, it's okay, you can say it.
Yes, let's say, but it's the first center that I drank at, and I'm just very, very comfortable over there. It's also very beautiful, very loving. The energy of all the helpers, the energy of the facilitator over there, it's very beautiful and well done. Yes, of course, there's a couple of things that I don't agree with them over there. There's a couple of things that I don't like, and that's okay. But it's still my center that I go to most of the time. I've drank at several other centers with different shamans, and there's been times where I didn't connect to the medicine, I didn't connect to the shaman. I like the energy was a little weird, so I keep going back to La Ceiba. Every shaman has a specific gift. Some shamans, their gift is courage, some is strength, some is vulnerability, that they add that gift into the medicine, and you receive that with the medicine. So you'll have a more courageous journey, you'll have a stronger journey, you'll have a more vulnerable journey. The center that we drink at, the shaman's gift is love. And that's one of my gifts to the world, love and beauty. Like those are some of my core values. So I keep going there because I resonate with that gift so much. And just the energy is so loving over there.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. It's a magical place. And I'll tell you, your instincts will reveal to you when you go to that place if you're in tune with the medicine. Again, you got to be spiritually pushing in. Like the first time I took it, I was pushing in and it was like raining. And I walked in the rain in the darkness. And at the time I was with a lady friend of mine and she's like crying. And it's like, you've been down there. When it's at dark, it's like night, but faith calls you, faith forges ahead in spite of what you see. It's like, it's there. I mean, we went in and, I had I live a crazy life. I mean, on my last job, I was a policeman and I go in cave diving by myself. So I'm used to darkness, but it turned out to be an awesome experience. But when I got there, my instinct was like, and my intuition was saying, there's peace here. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to that. Listen to what your inner spirit is telling you. Have you, since you've taken the medicine, become more confident in listening to your inner voice and your inner guidance and your intuition? Let's talk about that a little bit.
100%. I've always been connected to the spiritual realm. I remember when I was 5 years old, I saw angels everywhere, and I'm like, Mama, there's angels over there. She's like, you're crazy. Those are your imaginary friends. And now I tell her, Mama, there's angels over there. She's like, okay, I believe you now. But it took a lot of time to that. But with society, with programming, I covered my gifts for a long time. I'm like, no, those might be my imaginary friends. Like this can't be real. But once I started getting on a spiritual path, like I'm very clairvoyant and claircognizant. Everyone has some kind of psychic abilities, has their own intuition, and how we receive these gifts. It's just we cover them. We don't show them up because society might think we're crazy or it's not appropriate, or no, that can't be real. Like not trusting yourself, that can't be real. My, not only the medicine, but just all of the spiritual practices that I do, my meditations, my breath works, my prayers, like I have full faith that whatever's coming in is real. The other day I was at my woo-woo doctor, my acupuncturist, and he asked me what I saw during the session. I'm like, oh, I saw like blue, green, like moving around a little bit, kind of like a lava lamp, and Archangel Ariel came to me. And I didn't know much about this angel. I just felt this angel's presence around me. And I asked the angel, I was like, present yourself to you. If you are of light, tell me who you are. And it said Archangel Ariel. And I'm like, okay. And he asks me, he's like, did you see any water? I'm like, no water. No. And then he's like, your aura is really blue today. It's the water. He's like, that means just like purification, change, and like being in the flow. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm about to go through a lot of change. I'm going to be purifying of myself a lot. And like, I'm very in alignment right now. I'm very in the flow. On the Uber ride back, I look up Archangel Ariel because I didn't know much about this angel, and it's the angel of water. I'm like, well, I texted my doctor. I'm like, no, I didn't see water, but the angel of water came to me. He's like, you're so connected. And that's just me trusting that intuition inside of me that, yes, whatever that told me, whatever that was, it is real.
Mm-hmm. Awesome stuff. Well, we've got about 10 minutes if you want to talk about your new book and the new adventures that you're going on, other than what we already discussed.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like this has been a path of mine ever since ayahuasca and I first met. So my experience with ayahuasca, my journey with it, I knew that I needed to take this medicine. I had a lot of problems growing up, a lot of stuff wrong with me. I was very sick. I had a lot of trauma with my father. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, just a lot of stuff going on around me. And this medicine started showing up and calling me, like every time I put on something on TV, Chelsea lately is talking about her ayahuasca trip, or I open up a book, something about ayahuasca. I'm starting getting ads on Facebook. I'm like, okay, like it's calling me. And also Colombia, Medellin was calling me at the same time. And so I came to South America, but I was so scared of doing ayahuasca. So scared. I heard it's okay to be scared. The unknown is scary. But I heard that ayahuasca attacks your ego first, and I had a massive ego. So I came to Medellin, and my first week here in Colombia, I went to a conscious cannabis ceremony. And in the ceremony, it was literally hours, like good versus evil in my head, like completely deteriorating my ego, who I am, all the wrong decisions I've made, all of my values, all the people that I've hurt, just good and evil in my head for hours, hours. It was a very hard ceremony. It was surprisingly on cannabis. I was like, this is weird. And till this day, I've never had a ceremony like that. And I went to the bathroom afterwards and I'm washing my hands. And this is the first time I've ever audibly heard spirit talk to me. Like I was saying, I'm very clairvoyant and claircognizant. Spirit doesn't talk to me audibly. And I heard, "You're ready." I'm looking around in the bathroom. I'm like, what the heck am I ready for? Like, what is this? And the very next day, a friend of mine texts me. He's like, I'm going to an ayahuasca ceremony. Do you want to go? I'm like, yes, I'm ready. I am ready. So I went to that ceremony. My intention, the first ceremony, was clarity why certain things happened in my life, clarity why my dad did certain things to me, clarity why I was sick, why I was losing my sight, why all of these things were happening. She gave me that plus more. Like I mentioned earlier, I came out of the first ceremony and I'm like, oh my God, every single person on this planet needs to do this medicine. But from my first interaction with ayahuasca, she's been giving me little inklings that this is going to be a very deep part of my life. It's not just me going to a ceremony to heal myself and to just like have a good time or just to get better or whatever. Like this is going to be a much deeper path for me. And the more that I drank, the more she kept showing that to me. This is your path. This is what you're here to do. This is my medicine. Like I give all of my gratitude to ayahuasca. Like ayahuasca is seriously the biggest catalyst to my growth. I am the person that I am today because of ayahuasca. Like I've grown so much. I'm a completely different person than I was in my 20s. And it's a big part of it is because of the work that I'm doing with this medicine. And she showed me that I need to share that gift to others. Also, I am a mentor and I am a coach, and I've been doing that for a long time. The way that I approach things is a little bit different than the indigenous community, for example. Like I focus a lot on pre-integration and post-integration coaching. I do ceremonies currently, retreats currently, doing conscious cannabis and psilocybin. However, once I come back from the jungle, I will start doing ayahuasca as well. And there's the journey really starts, the work really starts once you leave the center, once you leave your retreat or your ceremony. How are you going to integrate everything that you're learning into your life? You're buzzing, you're like riding a high after you take ayahuasca, and you come back home and you find out your wife cheated on you, and you're like, how the heck did this happen? Like I'm feeling so good, this isn't supposed to happen. And then you go into your negative patterns. So in order to avoid that and to integrate properly everything that you're learning, I do focus a lot on the integration, the pre and the post integration as well. because you're learning so much and there's so many messages that you're receiving. You might not be able to decipher it all fully by yourself. So I am here to help and assist with that, not only to facilitate, but to help assist the what's happening after as well. And how can we integrate that into your regular life? So you can, like I was saying earlier, so you can hold your breath 5 seconds longer, wake up 20 minutes earlier, or be in an ice bath 5 seconds longer. So you can start integrating that into your regular life, because that's when the real work starts happening, once you've left the ceremony or the retreat.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And the thing is, if you planning on doing this journey, there should be some kind of format to where there's post integration afterwards, because you're going to get uploaded with nature. And like some people will do it multiple times, like Anya. I don't think I'll ever go on that level, but I'm open-minded to see what happens. It's a hard medicine. Now, what would you compare that to mushrooms? Because I see mushrooms more as like the love medicine, but ayahuasca is more like the father medicine. Okay, this is your problem. This is what you need to change it, as opposed to mushrooms, where accept yourself as who you are and love yourself. What are your thoughts?
So I like calling mushrooms like child's play. Mushrooms are like, they're fun, they're playful, but they could go wrong very quickly. They'll push you off the cliff. They'll be like, we're having fun. And you're like, oh my God, now I'm in hell. What the heck is going on? I was having such a good time. I don't know what's going on. Um, Mushrooms are great. They're also a lot easier on the body. Yes, you might get some kind of digestion issues. Your stomach might hurt a little bit, but it'll go away. With ayahuasca, it's much harder on the body. You're purging, you're throwing up, like it's really hard on the body. And with ayahuasca, like she'll take you to the cliff, show you what's down there, but will pull you back. She won't throw you off the cliff. Like she's got you. Like no matter what, I have full trust that no matter what with ayahuasca, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Doesn't matter if it's a good trip, if it's a bad trip, if I'm literally in hell, which has happened. I know that there's always light that comes out of every single trip, and she'll show you those lessons, why you're in hell, why you're receiving all of this negative stuff during your trip. She'll show you all of that and more.
Wow, awesome. Well, I don't have anything else. I'll give you the final word if you want to wrap up. We got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested, you can find all of my information. It will be linked below, but aniahalama.com. My Instagram is Ania Travels, because I'm a galactic traveler. All of the information will be linked below. Feel free to reach out to me if you are looking for a reputable center that I can recommend. If you're looking to drink ayahuasca with me once I start facilitating after the jungle in a couple of months. If you've gone through a center and the center doesn't have a pre or post integration mentor for you to help, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to assist, happy to answer all of the questions, and stay tuned for my book and all the exciting stuff that I'm working on as well.
Thank you, Anya. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.